Yo, guys, if you're anything like me, when you were younger, you used to watch The Daily Show as a kid, right? And maybe that's just because we didn't realize the level of propaganda that it was engaged in and what it was really all about. But whatever it was, it is like cathartic to see Jon Stewart tear into the Democrats right now with a level of self-reflection over the fact that they've completely lost the cultural zeitgeist, man. Seriously, dude. We talked about it the other day on The Daily Show. Well, he's done it again on his podcast. Jon Stewart rips into the media for scaring Americans about another Trump presidency. Comedy Central comedian made the comments prior to his recent interview with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Before interviewing Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders on his latest weekly show podcast episode, the Comedy Central comedian, 62, opened the hour acknowledging that America is currently in a transition period where we are not sure about whether the ground we stand on is solid. Although the news media seems convinced that we are the roadrunner and the coyote has run off the cliff, and we just look down and realize that there's nothing under our feet, and we are now plunging to our deaths, Stewart quipped in reference to the famous Looney Tunes characters, because the news media is always very circumspect. Circumspect means like considering all the variables and nuances. He's being sarcastic. We don't know what's going to happen when Donald Trump takes over, he said, adding that while we should be prepared for all outcomes, I don't know how helpful it is to get us shitting our pants this much this early. Man, how about some self-reflection, right? How about some toning down the rhetoric? It's so nice to see a major cultural figure in the Democrat Party, and one that they just accepted and gave an even larger role in the cultural projection, mainly because they have no other options. They don't know who else to turn to. But it's nice to see him acknowledging that we need to pull back on this polarization of our culture, man. He said, adding that while we should be prepared for all outcomes, I don't know that it's helpful to get us shitting this pants this much this early. Using the metaphor to describe his feelings about Democrats losing the election, he said, in the joint custody agreement that we now have in America, the kids are going to live with dad for the summer, and you're just going to have to effing eat it. Dude, oh, that's hilarious, man. This isn't the end. I promise you, this is not the end. We have to regroup. We have to continue to fight and continue to work day in and day out to create a better society for our children and for this world, he said. Yeah. Classic stuff. Once taping the segment for The Daily Show was over, Variety reporter said that Stewart spoke directly to the in-studio audience saying, can I tell you what joy you were, how happy I am to have spent the evening with you and not sitting at home throwing shit at my television screen. You've helped us all have a beautiful distraction, and you're going to leave here and you're going to look at your phone and you're going to go home and you're going to have that weird feeling where you get your knees feeling wobbly like, do I have hypoglycemia? But you don't. You just have temporary anxiety and paralysis that comes with the disappointment and succon of despair. Now, I don't know what that word is. He continued, it will pass and we will be back digging ditches for democracy once again in the way we always have and had to do. And I thank you guys for your dedication and thank you for being here. Get home safe. It's nice to see him talk against some of the intense emotional rhetoric that we have been seeing through our society time and time again, man. And you know, these Democrats left and right, and I'm so tired of people saying, hey man, it's not Democrats, this, that, and the third. Look, that is where the majority of corporate money is going. Democrats are where the majority of the Democrat media, the media associated with MSNBC and those institutional organizations, that is the majority of where corporate money goes to. So yes, that is absolutely the majority of the cultural zeitgeist. They have a near monopoly on the media that you see when you turn on your TV screen, which is still a huge number of screens that are being occupied on through each day. Like when you walk down the street, when you walk into a building that's playing something, when you walk into the airport when they're playing the news, it's CNN, it's mainstream news. When you go to your parents' house, it's CNN, it's mainstream news, it's MSNBC, even if it's Fox News. The Fox News is giving muddied messages, man. They really wash it down for the public. It's all about what is acceptable for the culture, man. I've got articles where I talk about the Overton Window and how the Overton Window has shifted in our society, and how, dude, in reality, man, it is not Democrat. It's not Republicans that have shifted to the right, guys, at all. Democrats own our culture and our society, and they have been shifting it to the left for a very long time. Here, let me bring this up for you guys. Like, seriously. Dude, and they've been gaslighting you. They use, look, my most recent article on chromo.com is about the straw man fallacy, all right? And it's about specifically how the straw man fallacy has been used in the news media to misrepresent a whole series of classical liberal figures that maybe people don't think of as classical liberals, like Pat Buchanan, Ron Paul, etc., man. So guys, check that out. But seriously, go over here to itschromo.com. Go check out my all posts button right here, right? And then hit Control F or hit the three buttons, whatever, right? And then I've got an article on the Overton Window, okay? And then all types of stuff, man. So I put out an article when the Chevron ruling was overturned. I've been operating this for a minute. Oh, when the Chevron was overturned, I've got a ruling when the Supreme Court was talking about what is and what is not an official act as president, and how they have that Supreme Court ruling did not give Donald Trump immunity. It created a system to determine what is and what is not an official act in government, and then they remanded it back to the lower court. It's a whole interesting story, but check that out. But related to what we're talking about here, right? And the reason why the Democrats have lost the entire cultural zeitgeist, including why Jon Stewart is getting so frustrated, and why they lost the election this time around, and why something like Donald Trump hasn't happened in so long, man. This is exactly why. See, the Overton window has shifted over and over again. The Democrats, and I think this is the perfect analogy, right? The Democrats for a long time have shifted the Overton window, right? Look, this is where we were. This right here is where we were sitting a long time ago, right? Right in the middle between the left and the right. And most of us, if you're anything like me, was a little to the left, right? And then the left started losing their minds, while the right stood exactly still. And me, I consider myself to be pretty much in the same position I always was, except I'm a little more conservative on like socially on some things, just not in terms of how I think it should apply legally. I think most things in life, you should approach things with education rather than passing laws, right? And you should have patience to allow culture to catch up. Educate and be patient. And I think that's the way to approach most things you see and you don't like, right, in our society. But the shifting Overton window, there seems to be a widespread misconception in today's political zeitgeist. We often hear claims that the Western world is veering dangerously towards fascism, with terms like far right being used so liberally that one might think Mussolini is running for office in the next election. However, upon closer examination, this narrative appears to invert reality. Over the past several decades, the American political landscape has experienced a significant shift, particularly within the Democrat Party, which has moved further and further to the left on various social issues. In contrast, the Republican Party has largely maintained its traditional stances, becoming more entrenched in these views as a response to the normalization and expansion of progressive policies. Guys, this is my perspective on it. This is what I think. I'm not trying to tell you what reality is. I'm trying to start a conversation. The leftward shift of the Democrat Party. Since the 1990s, the Democrat Party has adopted more liberal positions on a wide range of social issues. This shift can be observed in their stance on immigration, abortion, gay marriage, gun control, taxes, and religion. For instance, Democrats have increasingly supported more lenient immigration policies. For instance, Democrats expanded abortion rights, legalized gay marriage, stricter gun control measures, progressive tax reforms, and more secular approach to governance. Dude, you got to admit, man, all of this is in place right now. We have more lenient immigration policies. We have expanded abortion rights. Well, not super recently, since this, not super recently, but even states. Even a lot of the states have expanded abortion rights. Legalized gay marriage, you can't argue with that. How normalized is legalized gay marriage? Now we've legalized gay marriage. We ran out of things to talk about, and we had to obsess over the fact that gender is a construct. And then, in our obsession over the fact that gender is a construct, we went in totally the inverse direction. Gender is a construct, which means it's not real. Why are you going to obsess over something that isn't real? No, instead, gender is a construct, which means we can have as many as we want. So let's just have a conversation about that for as long as possible. What? Kevin Drum's analysis highlights that the Democrat Party's movement towards more liberal positions has been significant. In early 1990s, Democrats' average position was moderately liberal, but by the late 2010s, it had shifted considerably further left. This trend reflects a broader acceptance of normalization of progressive policies within the party and among its supporters. Let's take a look at some of the evidence of this shift. The week has referenced studies that show that the Democrat Party has become more radical, collectivist, and secular over the past 20 years. Younger Democrats in particular are more liberal compared to their older counterparts, further pushing the party to adopt more progressive policies. And we've talked about how what liberal means has been redefined. Neoliberals and neoliberalism have stolen the torch of liberalism, and they have taken it away from classical liberals like us. So when they talk about liberal and you're being liberal, and when I'm talking about it in this article right now, I'm talking about those neoliberal collectivist ideologies. And I wrote this article before I had fully fleshed those ideas out in my mind, before I had finished fully doing the research on that neoliberal shift, right? So that's why there's not quite the distinction that I usually make here. Most of the articles that I come out with now, I like to do a preference on how neoliberalism has taken the identity of liberalism and give a little brief history of how that works. But anyway, it's resulted in polarization. They've totally redefined our society. I've got links here that you can check out that really shows how the Overton window has been taken and stolen by Democrats and moved in that direction. But it's really awesome to see finally people within the party actually pushing back, staples within the party, staples that they can't lose, right? They call them too big to fail for the banks, right? Back in 2008. I feel like Jon Stewart is one of those Democrats that's too big to not be a Democrat anymore, right? So when the party shifts too far for him to be on board, he's got to actually say something rather than walk away like the rest of that campaign, which is a blessing, dude. Thank God for things like the walk away campaign and just we gotta regain the terminology and the zeitgeist, guys. We gotta take back classical liberalism, man. I got the neoliberal playbook. I got other articles out here. Check it out, y'all. We gotta take back the liberal label, man. Conservatives are liberals, and I know that a lot of y'all are gonna hear that and be like, that's not how, I don't agree with that. No, we are. Look at what you believe in. You are a classical liberal. John Locke, you believe in the Enlightenment era, right? And the ideas that started the foundation of this country. That is what a liberal is. Don't let them redefine it, bro. They already took the rainbow. No, I'm just messing with you. But look, I'm just saying, don't let them redefine what liberalism is, guys. We are classical liberals. They are the ones that are authoritarian. They are the ones that are totalitarians, okay? So anyway, guys, hey, that's just how I wanted to end it. It's awesome to see Jon Stewart trying to wake his own party up, man. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow.